My fiancée has accidentally lost/broken 3 engagement rings now. I'm starting to suspect she's doing it on purpose. I've been with my fiancée/girlfriend for 3 years now. I proposed a year ago, but it definitely wasn't out of the blue. She'd been not so subtly hinting at getting engaged for months at that point. Although we're both somewhat hot-headed, we generally have a good relationship and we occasionally only fight about small, normal things. I know nothing about jewelry, but I spent a lot of time looking for the right ring to propose with. I talked to 2 of her closest friends to get their input, and in the end I spent around $4,000 on the ring. When my fiancée saw it, she told me she loved it and I'm pretty sure she was telling the truth. This January, my fiancée called me up in tears. She'd somehow lost the ring on her way home from work and she had no clue where it might be. I left work early to come help her search, but since she'd been riding the subway, the ring was long gone. My fiancée was clearly distraught, so a few weeks later I dipped into my savings and bought her a different ring. It wasn't quite as expensive as the last, but it was from the same jeweler and still a good make. Around June, I noticed one day that it had been a while since I saw my fiancée actually wear her engagement ring. She went pale and confessed to me that she thought she'd taken it off before bed one night and now it was lost somewhere in our flat. This time we searched for days and I dug up half the floorboards looking for it, but the ring is, to this day, missing. At this point, buying another ring was out of the question, too expensive, so I asked her if she'd rather either A, have a cheap replacement ring, under $50, until after we're married, or B, go without a ring for now. She chose option B. One day we were visiting my grandmother, who asked my fiancée where her ring was. When we told her it was lost, my grandmother was kind enough to give my fiancée one of her rings instead. My fiancée seemed delighted and everything was working out perfectly until this week. I came home to find my grandmother's ring on the table, looking almost unrecognizable. My fiancée cried and told me that she'd managed to step on the ring that morning hard enough to break it. I took the ring to a jewelry repair service right away. Sadly they told me that since a few small stones are missing and the original fitting is warped, the ring will never really be the same. They also told me that they were certain someone stepping on the ring couldn't realistically cause this amount of damage. When I got home, I brought this up to my fiancée and asked her if she was 100% sure she'd only stepped on the ring. She completely flipped and yelled at me asking if I was calling her a liar. I mentioned what the jewelry store said, and she started screaming about me only caring about money and the cost of the rings. It's been 2 days and we've barely spoken, especially as she's only coming out of our bedroom for meals. Comment: damn dude. Sorry about your ring. I got mine at K. They said they would give me a few more $100 than what the pawn shop would, but it would be in store credit only and I had to use it right away. The depreciation in jewelry is ridiculous. It's not depreciation that's ridiculous. In fact, it's not depreciation at all. It's the markup on diamonds, that's ridiculous, I mean, especially in chain jewelry stores. Diamonds are nowhere near as rare as people think and certainly aren't worth what these chain jewelry stores sell them for. Obviously, the worst being Tiffany's. You're buying the name, really? Mine was a Georg Jensen Swedish original, bought in Sweden from a Georg Jensen shop. I went to the flipping Georg Jensen shop where I live, not Sweden, and they offered about $100. They said it wasn't an official ring, WTF. It was years after I got engaged so I didn't have any paperwork. It's all a scam. Buy a nice birthstone or something. Diamond engagement rings aren't worth the boxes they come in. Next story 2. My boyfriend has been treating me differently since he got his ancestry DNA results back. A few weeks ago, my boyfriend got his results back from one of those ancestry tests. He's never been interested in his family history before, but one of his friends bought him the kit for his birthday. A few days after seeing his results, which were nothing special, about 95% European and mostly just from England, where we live. He really excitedly told me that he'd been messaged by a group of people about a shared relative. Apparently all of them have an ancestor in common, my boyfriend's great, X10, grandfather that can be linked to royal lineage. I was pleased and a bit amused that my boyfriend was so happy, especially since he seemed to be telling every single person he knows and he posted on Facebook about it. However, since then I've noticed some uncomfortable behaviors from him that is making me second guess our relationship. He quit his job 2 weeks ago, accountant, which was very unexpected and something we hadn't discussed before now. He gets defensive when I try to bring it up and ask if there was something in particular that triggered it. He has only said that he doesn't believe the 9-to-5 life is right for him. He has suddenly insisted on using condoms when we have sex. We have been together 3 years and my birth control, the copper coil, has never been an issue for him before. My boyfriend has started saying it is not good enough as a form of contraceptive by itself, which would be fine, except he has started making a few comments alongside this about how I'm trying to steal his genes and implying that I want his bloodline. He won't kiss me in public anymore or touch me at all around his family, which he has explained by saying he doesn't like PDA anymore and it's embarrassing. He is fine touching me when we're alone, however. He has asked me to look into my family history by making a family tree to go alongside his. It's not something I care about or want to pursue. My family are also immigrants, so I imagine harder to track than his, but since I refused he has made jokes that I must be scared to find out that my family don't match up to his. As a side note, by traditional standards my family are a lot better off and more middle class than his, although this has never affected our relationship. We've generally had a really good relationship before now and there have never been any major communication issues or anything like that. I'm really confused as to what's going through his mind right now and I could use some advice. Thank you. Comment. LOL, there are thousands of people in the UK who have royal lineage and I hate to say this but it's most likely from a bastard lineage. He needs to get off his high horse. He can't have been that royal that he didn't know about his ancestry until he did a DNA kit. I doubt he's inheriting castles anytime soon. I was coming here to say something similar. I'm in the US and when doing genealogy a few years back it isn't uncommon for a lot of people in the UK and US to have some sort of royal lineage somewhere in their tree. Sounds like this guy might be treating it like something special, but it's pretty common and should just be a fun topic when on the subject. My mom did an ancestry and found out my grandma's like third cousin or something was Asian and my father spent a week acting like we were Japanese. He kept being like it explains so much. Like bro, what? Sounds like this info might have triggered some sort of manic episode or similar. No one leaves a well-paid professional job on a whim without something else going on. I'd get him to talk to a therapist about this new identity he seems to have picked up. Right. It sounds a little like a mental illness, though I obviously can't tell from such little info. Definitely something op should think about. Wish this was up higher. My dad had a severe manic episode after visiting my older brother in Houston where my younger brother had cancer treatment, and eventually passed away. It came out of nowhere. Next story 3. I found out that my BF posted a video online of him fingering me while I'm asleep. I and my BF live together and I bought him a video camera for his birthday since he wanted to start a YouTube channel. I take sleeping meds to fall asleep so I'm kind of hard to wake up. Last night I woke up to find my BF with his fingers inside me while holding the camera. I ask him why he's doing this and he tells me not worry about it. The meds were still in effect so I wasn't really aware how wrong this was at the time. This morning I noticed that he left the computer on and I realized that one of the windows was for a porn site. I remember what happened last night and get worried that he posted the video. Sure enough he did and several people have already seen it. I'm so humiliated right now I don't know what to do. Comment. Get a copy of the damn video first. That right there is all the proof op needs that he did in fact do this without op's consent. In fact, op don't just get the little porn clip, get the whole thing if op can. Or when op calls the police, ensure they confiscate his laptop. Or get a copy and call the police and hope they take the laptop. This way op has a copy if they don't. He raped you and filmed it? Contacting the police and finding somewhere else to stay is probably in your best interest. Is waking up to someone committing a sexual act on you rape? I'm just asking because it's happened a few times to me. So, not only did he assault you, he told you to not worry about it, and then he uploaded it to a porn site where millions of people are watching it thinking, well, this is hot. That is 31 flavors of illegal and you need to take action.